Oh, Novak, I gotta change.
With COVID, it's been interesting times. Training has hit the back burner. Formal training in conferences has hit the back burner. Is it necessary? We're going to talk about it. Australia's biggest real estate conference is coming up this Saturday. Let's talk about training. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes, episode 457. Myself, Michael Berger, Mark Novak. Can you ever stop learning? I think in all industries, all fields, we've seen someone come into the industry, do really well, and just as quickly as they was there, they're no longer there. And
Gone.
I think gone. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. And I think complacency is a big one. Even though it may seem like they got to the top within 6 months, they could have been working like a bastard for 10 years. You know when people say like overnight success, but it took 10 years? Sort of like that, where they're fine-tuning their skills, learning everything, trying new things. They get great success and they hold it for a relative short period of time. And it's like, then a couple of years and you go, hey, where'd that guy go or girl? They were great, but where are they gone? And I think a big component of that is doing what you did to get where you did and continuing it. When complacency sets in, progression stops. And I think that's the biggest thing in real estate as well, keeping up to date with scripts and dialogues. And it's a good week to talk about it, because we are going to ARIC, Gold Coast, this Saturday to learn. As Luke says, learn by more. Very true.
It's great. I love, and you know what? What's really interesting, if you profile, let's just talk about real estate agents. If you profile real estate agents, they're a little bit like pro footballers. They don't have their term going over a long period. Don't like to say it, but it's one of the industries that you know, if I look across the northern beaches or the eastern suburbs, the agents that were operating at the top of the crop don't operate for a long period in that. And I think it's challenging, and to challenge our mind and to unbox that and look at why and what can we do as salespeople to make sure that we don't fall into that category.
Yeah, as good morning, Paul. Luke will be ARIC. That'll be good. We'll be able to catch up. Rosie, constant learning and passion combined is the answer. 100%. And like my whole thing going into real estate was we don't have to go to university for 4 years. I know there's a lot more to doing your license now, but like back in my day, and then even your day, Mark, did you even have to do anything to get certified? Like compared to a uni?
If you bought breakfast cereal on the box at the back corner, you just cut off a form and fill that out and get your certificate.
You printed your own card at home. Word Doc 97. Yep, real estate license holder. Yep. And then you can go sell property. So when you look at the way I looked at it was, one, you've said it many times, most agents were the naughty kids at school. So we probably didn't do as well there. We don't have to go to university for 4 years. So the least, and learn a lot of crap other subjects. So the least we can do is target the industry that you're in and that continual learning each week. It should be daily, weekly. And these days, technology is amazing. Audiobooks, YouTube, audiobooks and Audible, the actual books, audio, and then podcasts. It's amazing how much you can continue learning. And in real estate with people like Rosie Sullivan, with the courses they do, which give you the actual accreditation for the yearly CBD. But I think it's with what we're saying, can you ever stop learning? It's a big fat no, because on two parts: refining your skills, dialogue, and then two, evolving with technology. If you, yeah,
Can I dig deeper? The layers that are above that, like I think when you ask yourself, should I do more training? I think the common answer is yes. And I think that when you talk about exercise, should I do more exercise? The question is yes. But I think if you've got to dig deep and say, what are the motivators that are going to make me train? What are the motivators going to make me go to the gym? I think that's really interesting. And with long-standing real estate agents that have been, that are trying to stay at the top of their game, how do you stay interested? How do you stay hungry? How do you continue to hustle and continue to learning? How do you not get bored, at practicing that craft? I think that for me.
That's the artwork.
Yeah.
Staying on that white line, that straight line, not jumping left, right, changing careers. Obviously, you can have great success changing careers, but when you're doing well or just because you're in a rough patch, as Luke says, Phil Mickelson wins major golf tournament at 50. I think he was he wasn't is he the oldest, or it's very significant, and he's just been plugging away at it. But you're right, how do you stay fresh? I think he's been doing it. He's been a pro, I think, since major 20, so similar to real estate, 30 odd years, always competing against a hot, new, young, fresh thing or person that comes up competing against him, and he keeps plugging away. As you said, like just staying your true north would be probably the strongest thing. And you may have different trainers here or there, or digest information differently at 50 as you did at 20 compared to what you did at 15. But I think you've just got to. How do you do it?
You've been, because, and I think also, I want to know how you do it, because what happens is when you're doing a lot of volume, or when you're doing a lot of something, say you're particularly good at something, you're doing a lot of it. How do you do a lot of it and not get bored from so many transactions? It's almost like you're a cookie cutter. How do you stay interested?
Yeah, I think audiobooks are a big one. Always be learning and then trying to implement what you learn. So there's the skills sort of there. But also we're quite fortunate with real estate, especially in commercial. No deals are the same. You almost wish you had some similar deals, or like a two-bedroom unit where it's a bit repetitive, because there's always new problems and new ways to how to help get that deal across the line, and then you pull stuff. So quite fortunate. Commercial does change a lot, transaction to transaction. But I think it's, if you keep learning, you want to implement it. It's like if you're doing a sport. If you learn a shot, you want to implement the shot. If you don't learn the shot, you don't implement the new shot, and then you're using the same shit over and over again. You start losing, you get angry. So it's just refining it. What about yourself?
Luke, how do you stay interested and keep yourself learning, pushing, hustling? Rosie, how do you keep yourself hustling, learning, pushing? I'd like to know, guys. I actually did some training last night with the team. There was about 8 of us there. We call it a grow meeting. So we have a grow meeting at 6:30 on a Monday night with anyone in the office that wants to attend. And part of the grow meeting, we've been running these grow meetings for about 16 weeks now. And we all went around table and actually asked each other this question. I like to leave stuff better than the way I found it. And I don't know why, but I really actually enjoy that. Not saying adopt this trait because it's my trait. I'm just saying it's a trait that I actually enjoy doing, where if I pick up something and I can leave it 1% better or 100% better or 50% better, I actually really fucking enjoy that. So, that's interesting. Do you want to know something that I would suggest to people is don't be afraid to dream. This is going to help you with your training, and that works with me. When I say don't forget to dream it, but take the bite off, take the chunk off. have a go. So I'm really passionate about good debt when it's achieving your dream. So I find, for me personally, like it's 29 years I've been doing the same thing. But what a lot of people haven't realised is like the office was a dream. Like building that office and completing that office and working in that office. I like investment properties. That's a dream. So I think, guys, if you want to keep yourself trained and you want to keep yourself in training, I think you've really got to take a risk and reward yourself for your dreams. And I think, for me personally, debt was a really healthy one.
Well, it's the same as, say, Phil Mickelson, yourself, it's golf's his tool or his vehicle. Yours is selling property, but the dream's bigger than that. It's either wealth creation, security, family, all that stuff. And your vehicle is real estate. His is golf. And you don't see him going from golf, gets bored of hitting a driver 100 times a day repetitively. Then he changes to pool or swimming, competitive. Like, yes, you've got to think of the bigger picture down the track and how you get there. And everyone will be different. Could be IT, could be rugby, could be real estate. Everything's different. Rosie says reading articles, reading legislation, listening to people, asking questions, and asking questions. That's a good one. Dream and believe it, then just do it. If you're crazy enough to dream, you're crazy enough to do it, Lisa. Yeah. So it's find your vehicle, work the shit out of your vehicle, and then focus on the bigger path.
And that dream does.
Just before that, figure out how you learn. Because I know when I went to school, I was saying, chatting to you off air, I didn't like just sitting at a table, like how reading, like that wasn't a big way I learned. So leaving out school to school, you've got the flexibility of learn however you want, more visually, more audio, in a different language. If you're an immigrant and English was your second language, you may want to learn in your first. You've got the freedom to learn however you like, or vice versa. I think embrace that and do that. But I think that's key. Like how I learn or will not be the same as maybe how you learn or Luke learns or Rosie learns. So I think that's the first thing you need to figure out, what you enjoy. Is it why you do you? You do you. What were you going to say, Mark?
That the curriculum doesn't have to be a real estate curriculum for a real estate agent, or the curriculum doesn't have to be, a legal curriculum if you're a lawyer. I think that you've also got, and because I'm trying to get into why people would do training and push themselves with training, I think when you dream that there's a couple of different pillars in people's lives. Me in particular, there's family. Another pillar is like family and friends is one pillar. Another pillar is real estate, trading, real estate business. Another pillar is property investments and stuff like that. I enjoy all of those things, and in some way I've made those guys point towards each other and complement each other. So I think me going and pushing myself in training in real estate, I realise that if I can be on the edge and pushing myself on the edge with buying a property or upgrading a home or taking a holiday, that's pushing myself on the edge, or taking time off to spend with the family, spend with the kids, that's pushing myself on the edge. I feel a little bit guilty because I'm not at work, but achieving those, you do what makes you happy. And then I sort of scurry back to real estate and say, I've got to train myself, I've got to push myself more, because if I can get more out of the business, I can get more out of the family. Yeah
I think it's a wrap. In other words, keep learning. Do you
keep learning? Mix your passions. You do you, everyone, and train. Get on the train, and train people that train. Don't just look up for training, look down for training. So training someone how to do something can develop your task to be better at what you do. So I find paying back training to juniors in the office or juniors in the industry actually makes you a better operator and a better practitioner as well, because it refines your process and what you're doing more. So not just training as in looking for ideas and learning, but training for showing people how to do it. Training is reciprocal in both ways.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
You.
Bye.